the golden one dropping wrestling talk. Wrestling adventure storytelling, no fake news here. Yo, Mr. 2020 and the golden one dropping.
There we go. Welcome back to the podcast, guys. Having a little audio difficulties, maybe even video difficulties today. The guy that we have running this crap around here, man, we got to do something about him.
Yeah, we need somebody new. We are accepting applications.
That's right. Send your applications in to, let's see if I can get the email up there for you guys. Right here, applications will be accepted at wrestleref123@gmail.com along with your questions, comments, and concerns each and every week. Speaking of that email,
make sure you complain about the producer.
Yes, the producer. Yeah, his initials are JT. That's all I'm going to give you. So, welcome back though, and Mike. It's been one of them weeks for me on a personal level. I don't know about you. It's been long, agonizing, and painful at times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's been a little painful because, like, what was it? Tuesday and Wednesday, it was like 86 degrees here.
Mm-hmm.
And then yesterday, it was snow, sleet, hell. So, I don't know if I need it right now, but went to cowboyrevolution.com, used the promo code JamieT123, and I had to give me a hoodie just in case another snowstorm pops up again.
That's right. You be ready because apparently spring's going to be late in Virginia, it looks like.
It looks like it.
It might be after Easter. Maybe the bunny will bring it when he hops on in town. Of course, Easter, that's not the real reason for the season, everyone. Just like Christmas, giving the gifts is great, but we all know the reason, right? That's something that I really believe and grew up believing, and I know Mike does and his family, and and we're talking about Jesus and the Lord and all that. And I don't want to go too far into that, Mike, because that's a big touchy subject. Let's admit it with some people. Some people don't want to hear about it all the time, but we're not going to preach at you. I just wanted to let you know that the real reason for the season is not the Easter Bunny. So with that being said, anything else going on personal you'd like to bring up today, or you just want to jump into stuff?
Well, let's jump into it. Okay.
So, Mike, the biggest thing that caught my eye, and this happened earlier today, and we're talking about this. I'll go ahead and tell you, it's Friday the 13th. I didn't need to see this video on Friday the 13th. It's very, I'll just be honest. At first I saw it and I'm like, what's going on here? What's this kid doing? And I'm going to go into detail a little bit before I tell everybody what we're talking about. And finally, I'm like, oh, no. I know they just didn't do that. And we're talking about the combatants in the match. So anyway, we're talking about OVW referee Dallas Edwards. This happened at their show last night. I guess one of their bigger events in OVW that happens on Thursdays up there. I don't think it was a regular taping. I think it was some big event. I don't know the three men in question. I don't care to know their names. I'm just talking about Dallas because he's the one that got injured, everyone. This kid, apparently, after taking a cross body from one of the combatants in this match, not only did he look like he was unconscious, he starts to have a seizure in the middle of the friggin' ring. Now, at first, I'm like, this kid is selling this, right? At first, I'll admit it when I'm watching it, because the announcers play it off like it's part of the show. I'm sitting there going, this kid is playing this. Why is he shaking? Then the next thing I know, his leg and arm are coming in the air, and his body's tensing up. So this kid actually had a seizure, everyone. Young kid. He looks like he's in his 20s. To beat it all, I heard his girlfriends online put a message out that he has a little bit of some kind of a brain problem from this now. So my issue with the whole thing, if you hadn't seen this video, everyone, and I'm not going to try to post it for you on here or replay it, but go look it up. It's all over everywhere. Social media, TikTok, Facebook, you get it, Instagram, so forth. Give it a look. I'm telling you right now, these guys, first off, You don't see nobody from the back come out. No paramedics are even trying to rush. So are they honestly thinking that this kid is doing this weird seizure look and selling? I mean, that's all I want to know, because to me right off, I'm like, something's wrong, right? They keep going through the motions of their match with all their pre-planned spots, because if these kids today didn't have pre-planned spots while we're on a roastings right now, if they didn't have their pre-planned spots, they wouldn't be able to do a match at all nowadays. Nobody goes by crowd reaction no more. It's about, hey, we planned out A through Z, and if I don't get to do A through Z, I'm not a wrestler. Well, you know what? You're not a wrestler for doing A through Z and not knowing how to work a crowd, buddy. First off, that's horrible. You can tell your work is not good. You work for a great company, apparently. Ohio Valley Wrestling used to be the developmental system, the first one for the WWE, started in late 99, I believe, or 2000. All of a sudden, we have mud show guys, it looks like, on the show. I'll say it. I don't care. And this poor kid, and the one that pisses me off the most, Mike, is the one that sits there. Not only does he shove the kid out of the way, he boots him, kicks him like he's throwing dirt under a rug, like the kid's nothing. Just a horrible scene from from start to finish. And all three of you guys, if the company even cares that what happened, all three of you guys ought to be reprimanded. And in my opinion, you ought to be fired and not allowed in the OVW ring again, and much less maybe in another ring. And if any of you guys hear this and have a problem with anything I have to say to you today, you got anything to add to this story, Mike?
Well, I don't know what to say. I thought it was just so soft Stone Cold on here.
Well, you did. You got the two double middle fingers. People that
Yeah.
just listen to the show, you're missing out. So go watch it on YouTube. You see the big middle fingers at what happened at OVW last night on Thursday, the 12th of March of 2026. So
he did it. We're
I'm
not
so
going
hot
to.
over it, Mike.
I know one thing: we are not going to edit this out.
No, I'm telling you,
But no, I saw the video, and like honestly, I thought it was like a work at first.
Yes.
Because like it looked like it was supposed to be like a clean bump and everything, and I think he was supposed to stay down for a little while and stuff. But then, but when the guys like kind of, at first I thought he was just trying to like push him to like hey, are you good? Like to the next spot. But then he started scooting him out of the ring, like with the feet, just start kicking him. So I don't know. Like I said, I think it was like a planned spot that just went wrong and stuff. So
yeah, I mean, but if he has a brain injury now, I'm not saying that they meant to do that. That the guy that did the crossbody meant to hurt him. I'm just saying once the guys that come in to do their spots, right? The one guy comes in the ring and do his spots with the other guy. I guess he does a run in or whatever, about what it looked like. It might have been a three-way. I don't think it was, because it's only a clip of the match from the crossbody on, so we don't know much. I don't know much about it. All I know is what we saw, right? But once you figure out, if you have an inkling in your head that official is hurt, if the back doesn't realize it yet, you being one of the boys, I mean, I know you're trying to protect what you're doing to a certain extent, but when you try to overprotect what you're doing and put the lives of someone in jeopardy, nobody's perfect. People are going to miss things all the time. Maybe they didn't notice he was hurt at first, but when he's not moving and now his arm is tensing up, his arms are coming in the air, his legs popping up in the air, he's having a seizure, he's flopping around a little bit. I'm not saying it to be funny. I'm just saying what happened. And by that point, you should know something's wrong, because that's not how you sell. That's not how you're taught to sell in this business. All I'm saying is, I'm not saying that they meant to do it, or maybe at first they didn't know what was going on, but by that point, the way he was moving, I would hope to think that you'd be like, this ain't right. Something's weird. And maybe even as a performer, being that I'm not trying to be mean when I say this towards these guys, but being that your punches suck and your work suck to begin with, I don't think you have to worry about protecting the business at this point, boys. You've already overshadowed that. So how about take care of the kid that's in the ring? And now it's being reported from what I'm reading online. I hope it's something made up by somebody that he has some kind of a brain function problem or something going on. I mean, it's just went too far at this point, right? So I don't care what anybody thinks of my opinions of them, and I don't care what people say about me. But I'm telling you, boys, straight up, you're not a pro wrestler, you're not a worker, because you would have known better than to shove him around like that. You ought to be ashamed of yourself, and you ought to not work anymore. Things happen. We miss things all the time, but it was clear as day something was wrong.
Yeah. Like,
I mean,
I want to know, like, how long the ref been in the business. Like, cause it from a fan point of view, like like you're saying it for like a referee point of view, stuff like that. From a fan point of view, it looks like he was supposed to like take the bump, and you know how like the refs kind of roll out the way to get the wrestlers to ring and they're still like that. It kind of looks like they thought like that might have happened. He just forgot to maybe roll it. He was just like really selling it.
yeah,
But then like the guy that did kind of kick him like out of the way and stuff, he did look a little concerned when he realized like the doctor was there. You know,
right.
so maybe he just didn't know. And he was just trying to help the ref. If he was like maybe like a younger, like you said, he looked like he was up in his 20s maybe.
Yeah,
So maybe he was kind of new, and he was maybe trying to like push him, kind of help him out a little bit. He just
right.
didn't realize it was. I don't know. Either way, it's just a bad situation. So
Yeah.
it didn't make the wrestlers look good.
No,
Kind of like push them out of the way and stuff.
no, it didn't make them look good. It doesn't plead their case. If they truly do care, it doesn't plead their case at this point.
Yeah.
And uh, maybe these gentlemen maybe they have better matches when stuff don't go down. But
Yeah.
uh, it's just one of them things where you see it and you're like, I'm also going to say this: back in the days that I broke in, less injuries, right? How do you think guys like Hogan and all of them and Flair made it for so long? It's because of the way they worked. No injuries. I'm not saying years later they didn't need surgeries like shoulder surgeries, and Hogan had back surgeries because of all the bumps over the years, but he knew how to work where he could have longevity, wouldn't be out of work. Because way back in the day, guys, if you get hurt now at WWE, you probably got a nice contract. You're going to sit on the shelf. They're going to pay your medical bills. You come back. You used to not work that way. You work, and if you didn't work from injury, you're on the shelf. You make no money. You can't provide, right? So different world, of course, but a lot less injuries. And I'm not saying that things didn't happen by accident back then, because it always has happened. We've all had a bump there or a hit there that may have done something. But I just think by looking at all that, everything done there was done carelessly by everyone involved. And all I'm saying is you would have thought, right, that out of one person in that ring that they would have been like, hey, he is hurt, and maybe they did. But I also want to know what's the people in the back doing at this point, right? Where are the head honchos doing? They see this on the monitor. Are they not worried and concerned? Are they not trying to send paramedics out of this a little bit quicker? Because it seemed like an eternity, which was only like a minute or two probably, but it seemed like an eternity. It's probably take 2 minutes, but it seemed like a lot longer than that if you're sitting here watching this, right? And you're going, This is taking forever. Are they getting this guy any help? No, they're still working. What's going on here? There's no help. That's when, here's my opinion on this. You see the guy down, don't do your spots in the ring. Tell the guy, hey, I'm going to throw you out, and you go fight on the floor. And get somebody out there to help that kid a lot sooner, right? They didn't have to do their spots around him either. It goes back to the day, and we talked about this, and I kind of defended it in a way at the time, but we go back to when Sid broke his leg, remember? And Sid in 2001. The match continued. But the whole reason for that was head management at WCW wanted to continue. And who do you think had the head say on that match? John Laurinaitis, of all people. Go figure. And I've all told the story that, Goldberg was trying to send somebody out. That somebody was me to go to the ring. And I'm sitting there in my head, I'm going, I should do this. But when management and the guys at the gorilla position tell you not to go, you don't go. So then Goldberg's trying to talk to them because I walk off. I'm like sliding out like in a comedy skit, like like sliding out of the picture, right? Just so I ain't in the middle of this. But I understand Bill's concern, and Bill had the right attitude for that, right? It puts you in such a bad predicament, dude. Listen, when you're at a live production and you got a live show to continue, but the more I think about it, we should have always stopped the show for stuff like that over the years. Always stop the show if you can. I don't know. It's just a bad situation, and I don't know what else to say, because anything I say at this point, probably because I'm upset over it, I'm gonna probably say more harsh things towards people, and I really don't like to come across that way. So I don't know what else to say.
Well, I think you said enough on this.
You think so?
I think so.
Okay.
Just hopefully for a speedy recovery and everything. So
Yeah, absolutely, man. I hope the kid has, he doesn't have problems from coming from this, and being that he got a seizure, was it the blow? It looked like a knee may have hit him in the head from the cross body. I'm just speculating here. Something happened to set the seizure off. They just. I'm assuming they just don't happen for a reason. I really haven't known too many people that had seizures, and thank the Lord above, I haven't had any problems with that. Knock on wood, right? So, yeah, God bless him and his family, man. But I don't know. It's just so hard to sit here and try to make up anything to make a good excuse for it, right? I don't know how I couldn't if I wanted to, if I was working for that company and had to go out and say something to the public right now, I wouldn't know how to defend it. I mean, what do you say? We have a live production, and sometimes guys get hurt, and he was just one of the casualties of somebody getting hurt. What do you say in that, right?
Yeah.
It's one of them rough things, man. And it isn't like, people don't think the business, people know how the business is as well. They know that if somebody's hurt, we can stop it at any time because it's a show. People don't, if it's back in the kayfabe days, you would have, I don't know what you'd have done. They would have figured out something, I know. But I don't know, all the way around, just a bad situation. I will say one more thing about it that I pulled up online. Somebody posted this. Let's see what site it's on. It's on Facebook. It's under one of the sites I follow. We Love Wrestling. And let's see what it says. It says, I'm not going to share this video. It's out there already. If you want to, but it's generally gross. I feel for Dallas and his family. This is the chance for OVW to do the right thing. Admit fault, remove the other workers who let the ref sit there and get ready for a settlement. It's gross and disgusting to kick someone aside having a seizure. Person goes on, I don't know who this is, who wrote it, because everybody's anonymous on a lot of these things now. Says, stop running the shows. No plan in place for accidents. No checking on the guy who took a bump. There are basic fundamentals. You let a man seize in the middle of the ring for 2 minutes and fought around him. Accidents happen, but this is negligence. For me being a guy in the business as long as I have and understand the ins and outs of it, and injuries are going to happen, with something this serious, I'd have to tend to more agree to whoever this anonymous person is saying this. So he also posted a picture of a saying, and conversations with this man I always enjoyed, but he actually said this, and I'm not putting him on the crossfire because he had nothing to do with what happened, but it says here, someone will die in an AEW ring, I guarantee it. And the man that said it was Al Snow, and it was actually on Vinny Rouge, one of your favorite WCW World Champions, podcast, the Russo brand one. So he's going to get scrutiny for this, Mike. You know that, because he's involved with OVW. He's going to get scrutiny from it and a lot of backlash. And he probably expects that. And Al's a smart man, so I think he'll, when the time comes, if he has to respond, if he's the one that has to do it, I think he'll be able to do it. But unfortunately, he will be in the crossfire for what happened.
Yeah.
But like I said, I like Al Snow. Great guy. Loved his work. He's very old school. He knows the ins and outs of the business. I just think the truck didn't pick up on it because the boys in the ring didn't act like nothing was wrong too.
Yeah.
You can tell when something's wrong if somebody's acting weird, or other than the guy sitting there flopping. I'm sorry. That was a sad sight to see once again. But, horrible situation. Don't know where to go with what words to say, because right now my words would be just more degrading the combatants that were in the main ring. And I really don't like to do that to nobody in this business, because it's a hard enough business to break into, and try not to hurt yourself or someone else. But unfortunately, the accident happened. But when you notice, we should notice the accident a lot quicker is all I'm saying.
Yeah. In
a nutshell. So I guess we'll go on from that unless you want to add anything.
No, I'm good.
Okay. You're like, that's enough, buddy.
No, you said a lot on it. Like I said, just hopefully for a speedy recovery. Thoughts and prayers out to the ref.
Yeah.
And if the wrestlers didn't know it was like real and stuff, hopefully they can get like the knowledge not to do it again in the future. They can learn from this too. So
yeah, because Kentucky's an athletics commission state, and I'm sure it's better than Virginia. I'll be honest, Virginia they don't have to have the paramedics around.
Yeah.
But most athletic states back in the day would have, when I remember traveled all the time, when I traveled all the time, they would have paramedics backstage. So I would assume that paramedics were there. I just don't think no one was acting quick enough for the situation. You know what I'm saying? Something went wrong other than the fact that they let him lay there. But I don't know what else. I don't know what to say about it. Just not good. I will say that I have some today in histories to bring up to maybe lighten the mood up a little bit, to make it a little more softer. And you'll like this one. So 15 years ago, Mike, on this very day, TNA presented Victory Road 2011. It was in Orlando, and it was one of the most infamous matches in the history of TNA when Sting faced Jeff Hardy in the main event. This is the night, yes, guys, I'm not reading this word for word. I'm going to tell you how I read it. This is the night that Hardy was impaired,
Yeah.
visibly impaired. And the main event pinfall, Sting won in 88 seconds.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was a
Yeah,
dark
I
day.
remember that.
Yeah. And
Yeah, I
I'm a Jeff
remember that.
Hardy. Listen, I'm a Jeff Hardy fan first and foremost because I'm from the Carolina breaking in era.
Omega.
Yes. So I just think it was a bad situation there. And Jeff would never do anything to jeopardize and put somebody to get them hurt, right? But that night, they were afraid of that apparently, because he visibly was.
Yeah.
I guess we can say it. He was on. I guess he was drinking, from what all the accounts I read, because I wasn't there at TNA at this time. But they sent him home for 120 days. That's what I read. So,
Yeah, I mean they knew something was up that
yeah,
day.
yeah,
Well, they couldn't find him all day long,
yep,
but then when he was coming out to the ring, and you could barely see it up in like the replays and everything. When he was coming to the ring, you could see Brian Hebner throwing the X up,
yeah,
like something was wrong. And then that's when Eric Bischoff came out
right,
and everything. Did the quick finish.
yeah.
But like where do you go in a company when that happens? Like on a major pay per view,
Mhm.
like your world title scene,
Yeah.
and the person that's challenging for the world title comes out like that. Like you're gonna hear like the backlash and stuff. Like what do you think it's going through? Like, do you think they're trying to talk to the press about it? Because they're gonna get a bunch of questions. You
Mhm.
think they're gonna try to avoid it with all costs and just put something out on Facebook and X and stuff? Like where do you really go knowing? Because Jeff Hardy's a big name. No matter where he goes, everybody knows who he is.
Mhm.
Everybody knows who Sting is.
Mhm.
They might not know, like, TNA might not have been as big as WWE, but people
Yep.
knew TNA. So the story's coming out,
Yeah.
and it's that year 2011. So people using their phones, so it's video out there and stuff.
Yeah.
So they're probably picking it up right away. So,
Right.
like, I know you wasn't there, but where does the company really go in the direction to try to ease the pain and fire that this is bringing on at the top?
I don't remember too much of 2011's next few months. That's like what, 4 months. 120 days is like 4 months gone. But apparently, when he came back in September, they actually had him acknowledge his past issues and he seeked redemption. You remember the video we saw with him going to AJ backstage and AJ times like, I don't want nothing to do with it. Remember that? Something to
Yeah,
that effect.
yeah, like taking food off his family's table. Like if he
Yeah.
would have got out there and like
Yep.
destroyed the company and stuff. Yeah,
Right. But here's the thing. Uh, they only did that because reality makes money. It really does. The reality makes money. The old saying, and I hate to bring it up because it's Eric Bischoff's book title, but controversy creates cash. And by Jeff having this problem, they're like, well, we're going to make money off a real life situation. We're going to take advantage of this. We got him under contract. Let's take advantage of this. And they did. And apparently Jeff was okay with it. So we can't really down it if the person doing it's okay with it. But, you know, there's a lot of demons out there that happens, and not just in this profession. It happens with anybody. It does. People say, "Oh, you're in the pro wrestling business. You're going to have this problem and that problem." It's not just pro wrestling; it's everywhere, man. And it just so happened that he had a problem that he had to go to rehabilitation for, and Jeff's had problems over the years. But I will say that even though he had more than one situation, right? He did own up to each situation. So he knew there was a problem to get fixed. And right now, I hear that he's been great the last few years, and he's doing fine. So it's good that he can recover, because a lot of people don't. And but I'm so glad he's doing better, and he's performing. He's a TNA at the top of the dog again. Tag team champions with Matt, one of the best tag teams ever in the professional wrestling business. But I'd have said that about him if they still wasn't working today. If they'd already retired, I'd still be saying that about him, because I'm their era, and I broke into business around the same time they did, and we all knew each other. But back to your question, where do you go from there? Well, with not knowing where they did go, I couldn't actually give a good opinion on what they did. But basically, it's like any other profession or job. You keep going on a day-to-day basis. You keep the television written. I'm sure that hurt the television writing, because I heard at that point TNA had to produce to Spike 3 months at a time, or maybe even longer, maybe even longer. But it's a period of time they had to produce to show them, hey, this is how much storyline we got. So that had to put a big dent into what their plans were for Jeff. 4 months gone. So I'm sure they had to switch up, find another guy to come in and to work with Sting, or whatever the situation was. And I don't even remember who that was, but you just got to move on. There's no turning back. I mean, what are you going to do? You can't stop shop. I mean, we already know they don't stop matches because of bad things happening. So they're sure as hell ain't gonna stop shop when somebody having a problem and they gotta send you away for 120 days or whatever. But I don't know. I don't even remember TNA in 2011, because I was out of the picture at that point. At TNA, I'd been removed. I didn't go back working for them for a couple more years after that. I'd watch their TV, but sporadically. So I don't even know what was going on in 2011. I wish I did, to talk about it. But you just move on, just like they do any other time in this business. Where somebody gets released, they move on. If somebody gets injured, they find somebody to take his or her spot and move on. And that's just the nature of the beast. If I lost my job right now, what I currently do in life, right, they'd move on. I mean, bye James or Jamie, whatever they call me there, right? Get out. We're moving on without you.
Don't worry, I'll find somebody to replace you on the podcast.
Oh, now we're talking about the podcast. I was talking about my job.
Well, either way, we might be accepting applications for new co-hosts.
Yep, that too.
No, we kind of touched a little bit on the AJ promo when Jeff came back and everything. Do you think they gave AJ like points to talk about, or do you think that was really AJ talking from the heart, and they told him, hey, I know what he did. You have at it. Whatever you say goes. Or do you think they gave him like a list to kind of go by? Because you gotta imagine, if he's the face of the company,
yeah,
AJ Styles, if he's the face of the company, it's gonna be hard to really stick on topic. But I mean, he is a professional person, so
yeah.
like he will do business the right way. Or do you think they just like, hey, just say whatever, and you ain't gonna get no backlash from it?
Yeah.
Because AJ and everything, so you would know if like that was really him, or if it's kind of like a scripted promo.
Well,
it honestly felt like it was real, like
right. Well,
coming from the heart and everything. I know it's professional, but everything he said sounded like it really came from the heart, like from taking food off this famous table, almost about to run him out of business. It just seemed like it was 100% real.
Yes.
So what do you think?
I honestly believe that there may have been a little bit, I'm trying to think of the word. I guess I use the word resentment. a little bit of anger from what happened, because you're right. That affects the way the company looks as a whole. But when it came down to what was said in the skits, the backstage segments or whatever you want to call them, I honestly believe they told AJ what direction to go with it. They may even have written the words for him, and they may not. They may just like, hey, you need to speak on this, because a lot of times in the pro wrestling business, you give bullet points. I want you to touch on this, touch on that, touch on this, right? And then the guys will do their own promos. But this is a short segment we're talking about, and I'm pretty sure it was more like, hey, we need you to do this for this segment. And AJ did it. And I'm not saying the words that came out was what he said came from his own. It might have been scripted, right? But I'm also not saying that he didn't have a little anger and resentment behind what he said, though. Because you got to look at it. AJ was homegrown talent from day one. That was his home. And this is 2011. And this is what? How many years later? They opened in 2002, right? 9 years later. So 9 years later, this company's still functioning, still doing pretty good. Yeah, absolutely. I could see some of that coming out in what he had to say, but not necessarily what he said wasn't told to him. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I could see it being a little bit of both in there. Absolutely. And you can't blame him. But once again, Jeff was in a hard position himself because addiction is addiction.
Yeah.
And we've all had, well, he's a friend. I consider him a friend, even though we don't talk, friends don't talk that much sometimes, but over the years, but I consider him a friend, and he's one. I've had several other friends, not just in pro wrestling, that's had addictions and had to overcome stuff. So, hell, I wish my uncle would have overcome alcoholism. He basically killed himself. And that's a true story, Mike. That's not make up for TV.
I wish our good buddy Billy.
Well, that's true. Billy's had some issues. He doesn't see it, but everybody else does. We won't go into last names here because we're not talking about personal people's lives right now, except stuff that really happened on the wrestling.
Well, we're just trying to give him a little shout out on here too. So
yeah, hey Billy.
Hey Billy, if you want to sit down and talk with us, we got you.
That's right.
About anything.
That's right. But I think it's a tough situation for anybody involved, even the people with addictions, people that have to see it. Everybody works together in this business. You see people every day as much, not nowadays and not then either, but back in the old days, you'd see them more than your family sometimes. So they become your family. So yeah, it's a hard thing, man, to see family and friends go through that. So it's hard to see it, and it's hard for the person definitely going through it. So you got to feel for everybody involved. You really do at the end of the day. What else do we need to hit on here today, man? I'm trying to think of good stuff.
I mean, if you're going to keep going with wrestling history,
yeah, give me something.
March 13th, 2020, the first edition of WWE SmackDown in the Performance Center in Orlando, because the world has entered COVID.
Yeah. Well,
I know you was in Virginia.
Yeah.
At this time. But I know with the people that you know in this business and talking to the friends at this time that's in the business, what was they going through at this time? Like, was there concerns, like, when they talked to you? Or did y'all talk about this? Or, because me and you never really talked about it. I know how we was at our job.
Yeah.
But, like, the wrestling business, even if it's a small independent thing, like, what was really going on at first? Like, it had to be a lot of confusion on people's part. Like they don't know what's going on and stuff.
Mhm.
Do they really think they was losing their jobs, or do they be like, oh, it's just another day of work. We just got to wear a mask and stuff?
Uh,
Like, did you get any info?
to be honest, not really. I can tell you the way it made me feel. Just thinking about it, right? Being in the business for so long, and even though I wasn't currently technically active at this point, this is probably during my time I said I was going to retire, and because my last match was sometime in 2019. I can't remember what day. I have to look it up. So I had technically retired. I haven't done anything in a few months. But I did. Now listen, I did go backstage to Ring of Honor. I don't know if I think I remember telling you I was going to Ring of Honor in Baltimore that year. We went in February. I did a trip to DC and Baltimore. And when I was in Baltimore, I went to Ring of Honor. I actually went backstage. Jay Lethal, I contacted him. He got me backstage. And this is right before COVID. So it's leading up to COVID to tell about the story. So this is about 3 weeks prior to the whole nation shutting down. It's like late February. So anyway, I go backstage. Everything's normal at this point. I stay back there a little bit, say my hellos, try to make connections because I was wanting to get, and they were owned by Sinclair at this time, not Tony Khan, everyone. I was trying to get a connection to get onto Ring of Honor just to do TV for Ring of Honor, stuff like that. Light schedule, still be in the pro wrestling business. Even though every schedule is light nowadays compared to what it used to be. But so long story short, I go back out to my seat, and because I brought my wife with me, so I didn't want to let her sit out there all night by herself. I didn't end up working that night. I just got to make some connections. I came back out to watch some of the show with her. Next thing I know, there's a kid in front of us just hacking its head off, right? Just coughing. And my wife's like, that's just gross. Well, about a week and a half, 2 weeks later, a week and a half later, or maybe a week, we start hearing about COVID. Before you know it, 2 or 3 weeks later, what happens? The whole nation gets shut down. So we're sitting there going, we didn't know nothing about this going on, but we're out in all these busy restaurants and bars in Baltimore, and they're packed wall to wall. You can barely move in these places, and people didn't even know this was going down. We could have been spreading this awful COVID everywhere, right? It's just really weird that we went from that, a nice house at Baltimore at the arena they did, some college arena. And then you talk about SmackDown, right? Just really weird in a 3-week period, empty arenas. It's just the weirdest thing ever. That's weird. And right before it shuts down, I'd actually got in contact with one of the referees that did helped do some of the booking of Ring of Honor. And not that he said I had a position, but I felt really good about our conversation. And then the whole world shuts down. Nothing else is said about it. You know what I'm saying? So COVID is really it had to be tough on everybody because I didn't try to do shows during that time. But as Yellow Man said when he was on our podcast, he said he didn't skip a beat. That he'd do shows in Tennessee and different places, and they'd be wide open, which that was true. I don't know if the Gatlinburg that summer it was wide open, business as usual. Restaurants be full. It was nice, but to be a performer that's used to thousands of people and then going to zero, doing your WrestleMania and stuff, it had to be horrible. I'll just be honest. It had to be horrible. And what sucked for AEW, companies like AEW, they had just started in 2019. In 2020, they're doing live events in front of nobody until they regulated whether you could have people, staggered out through the crowd. Yeah. Which are still kind of dumb. Just all crazy, man. It's a crazy time. Of course, you know that. We lived it. We lived in the crossfire every day. selling products to people that would fight you and kill you over it. I mean,
over
yeah.
toilet paper.
Toilet paper, paper towel, pallets were destroyed within minutes. Water was, it got to the point where we had to watch the water pallets and give people only like 2 packs or whatever it was. It was crazy times.
And then we had to block off the ends of the aisles just so we could stock the toilet paper.
Yeah. And that I'm going to tell you something, though. I'm going to tell you the only good thing that came out of COVID, I don't know what you think about it, is when places did start to open up, you go in, there'd be a lot less people because they had to have one table full, one table be empty.
Yeah.
In the restaurants, and you could eat more peacefully. I frequent breweries, you know that. When I go down, we go out to drink on a Tuesday, had a day off, me and the wife. Tuesday midday, have lunch at a brewery, be quiet, be nice, enjoying ourselves. Beer specials, food specials. You save money on everything. It had some good points about it, but overall,
you could have just had a little tickle in your throat, barely cough, and you just see people just take off running.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, what about the no policy about calling out? There was no call out policy. If you said you were sick, stay home. That was good.
Yeah, it was nice.
No point policy at work. I'm not going to say whether or not I used that for my advantage at the time, but maybe. The Audrey Center was shut down. You remember the Audrey Center was shut down? They made it the check-in point.
Yeah.
And there'd be several days my work week could be at the check-in point all day. I'd have 8 hours of checking people into their jobs. And then I'd just sit there. I did a lot of ordered a few things off eBay during them times. Probably shouldn't have been spending money, but I had nothing else to do. Couldn't go very many places. So, but no, for the bad that it all was, there was a shimmer of good. And then like me, you, and our other friends at work would still go hang out outside of the job. That was good times. I know I went off subject, but
and then everybody taking those terrible pictures wearing the mask and everything.
Yeah. I'm telling you right now, I hated the mask.
I would. I'll wear it to a certain point, and then that one day, that weird thing that we worked with got mad, and I took it down for not even a minute, just so I could catch my breath, because we was running grocery stuff, and I thought I was about to kill him.
Ed?
Well, not. I probably can't say that on here, but it was a pain in the butt.
Oh, I also want to tell you real quick, Mike. We'll go back in the subject. Found this one. It's really good.
Yeah.
It's Punk Punch. You had it yet?
Yeah. You know what I got today?
What?
Kroger water.
Okay. Don't sue us, Monster or Kroger, for bringing you up. You're not sponsors. We just drink your beverages. So.
It's better than other water that I've drunk.
But no, the whole COVID thing, bro, with the original question, instead of going off into our personal lives about it and all that, and being in the business, it had to be rough on the performers, because I don't know what's worse. I know it's worse. Working in front of nobody. That's the worst thing could ever be. But when it's mandated to keep their jobs, do it. I don't know if they forced them to take the jab, as we call it. And I don't know how many of the performers believe they should have took it, or ones that didn't want to take it, or what happened there. I know our stance on it, and I'll still stand by that stance.
We turned down money to not take it.
Turned down money not to take it. I don't care. Right. The jobs tried to pay us. Yeah.
I needed the money.
Huh?
But I said I needed the money, but I said no to the shot.
Yeah, no to the shot, no to the jab. Never got a one, never will. And if anybody gets offended by that, should I put my middle finger up again? Nah, I'll skip.
No, no.
But anyway, guys, yeah, it was horrible times. COVID was weird, really weird. It's like you go out one day, everything's normal. The next day, everything's shut down. You got to try to live a new life that you never thought you'd live in. Works. Remember the work. One more thing, and we'll move on. But you remember the work notes they gave us that, in case we went martial law,
Yeah.
that we could go to work, drive to work and back. So stupid and silly. But I guess I always told everybody that we worked for a big enough company that would know the inside of what the government was doing.
Yeah.
And the little people below, which is all of us working across the U.S. and everywhere else, right? We would know last. But I was like, something's going down. That's what I always said. I know it's a conspiracy theory in a way, but I always said something's going down with this for them to give us these letters to carry in our car, right? Luckily, we didn't go to martial law. We didn't have none of that garbage because it would have been really horrible. But I don't know. You know, now that it's treated like the flu at work and everywhere, I kind of feel like we didn't need to do what we did as a nation. I kind of feel like it was a lost cause now. You wasted all the resources and all this money. And now if I get COVID, you got COVID? Okay. You coming to work tomorrow? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you still got to go to work unless you got a fever.
Right. It's so stupid. So dumb. It's all a bad situation. But that's a good question to ask. That's a really good question. That's better than some of the questions we got from our guest. That's a really good. But you back in the day when Julia was on here, you was sending a lot of questions, and they were really good questions. Yeah, Mike had some really good questions, guys. So what I'm doing here is I am asking you to come up with some really good questions for us too, because we haven't had none in a few weeks. I don't know if you're not typing in the right email, we don't give it out enough, or I just don't know how to use the phone no more. Like Shawn Michaels don't know how to log in to watch shows. You seen that meme? So anyway, and what was it about? Shawn Michaels said he needs to learn how to use YouTube or something.
Yeah,
what was it?
I can't remember, but I know what you're talking about.
To watch the NXT show or something? Yeah. That was pretty funny, though, because it shows an old picture back in the day when AOL started, and he was working for the mid-'90s at the WWF. Really funny stuff. Yeah, it was really good meme. So moving on, I guess. Move on from the COVID problems we had. Do we have any news on Dan Hawson this week? Just wondering if he's done anything cool. Any more curses happen?
Yeah, he did one to the El Americano, Chad Gable mask dude. He apparently cursed him. Yeah, he cursed him, and the second one came out, did the open challenge match instead, and yeah.
Okay.
He could be a Hall of Famer like he wants to be.
You know, I saw Dan Hawson do the T-shirt throw. Did you watch that video, that part of the segment?
Oh, yeah.
Here's the funny thing about it. He picks up this big wad of shirts, throws it, and one guy catches like 12.
And then Michael Cole goes, "Oh, one guy got him off."
What he did. I'm like, Don Hawson, really, bro? They need to give him a cannon.
Like, I know it's for commercial, like, for the time and stuff, but that's something, like, you need to do on TV, man. Let everybody see it, not... But I'm ready for the day when you got Danhausen and R-Truth together in the same ring.
Yeah.
That's going to be comedy gold right there.
Speaking of R-Truth, did you see the video they showed backstage? I think it's from their new show on Netflix. I've never watched it. And you got Bruce Pritchard sitting with Triple H, right? And Triple H is on the opposite side of Bruce, sitting here. Like I'm Bruce, Triple H is here on my left, right?
Yeah.
And Triple H is talking to R-Truth going, is truth something about truth coming up? And then Bruce looks at Triple H and goes, that is truth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was
Do you think it's
for
more of
like
a joke? Do you think it was
yeah,
a joke?
yeah, because that's when he was trying to dress up like Cena and all,
Yeah.
and they called him like Ron Cena and
Yeah.
stuff.
So you think it was more or less Triple H trying to be funny?
Yeah, I don't think he's that funny.
You don't think who's
Anymore.
funny?
Triple
Oh,
H. Like
oh
he
well, what,
can be, but
no.
that segment they did was just stupid.
But do you think it was meant to be funny, or you think Triple H really
It
thought?
was no,
You
it
don't
was
think he
meant
thought
to
it was
be funny.
John, do you?
No,
Okay. Okay. I
I
wasn't
mean
sure.
they're almost like twin brothers, but you can still tell a little bit of a difference.
Okay. Yeah, they're almost like twins. I see it too. Yeah. Uh, where is Truth, by the way?
On SmackDown,
Is he currently on
him,
there?
yeah, him and his tag team partner Damian Priest are
Who?
now Damian Priest.
Damian Priest and Truth are partners?
Yeah,
I'm way out of the loop. I didn't know that.
apparently they're the #1 contenders for the WWE Tag Team Championship.
So Damian Priest is a face then, right?
He's
Because
what?
Truth ain't a heel.
Yeah, yeah. Priest is a face. He's been a face since he got kicked out of Judgment Day.
And how long ago was that?
A few years now.
Ain't no few years.
Yes, it is. I think it was back at because I think how they did it was it was what 2022 when they created the group.
Mm-hmm.
Edge got kicked out. 2 years later, 2024, Priest got kicked out. In 2026, Finn got kicked out. So it had to have been 2024 because that's when he got the world championship and stuff like that.
Okay. So what you're
So
saying
you're
is
out of the loop.
big time.
Yeah,
So you're saying the
you're a
little bit
couple of years out.
so the little bit I do watch isn't enough to keep me up to date. Apparently,
Yeah, apparently not.
apparently
But
not.
but something that you should have known in the loop, no matter if you're in it completely or on the outside of it or completely out the loop. You should know one thing for sure.
What's that?
I'm not going to mention Chris Benoit's name right now,
Okay, but
but
he
he
should be in the
does.
Hall of Fame,
But he deserves to be in the WWE Hall of Fame.
right?
Um, no, you should know. But oh, you didn't know
You're
the Road
oh
Dog.
Road
Yeah,
Dog. Yeah,
yeah.
I did know about him being
Did,
gone,
did
being
he
released.
did he get released? Did he quit? Like I heard different things. It kind of sounds
Yeah,
like a messy situation, but to Mr. and Mrs. Anonymous, I think it'd be good if AEW, because we haven't brought them up really this year or this podcast. We did a little bit, but we're gonna bring AEW up a little bit. I think it'd be a good idea if AEW hires the Road Dogg as a backstage producer or something. I think it would really help them out because he's a good mind for the business.
yeah,
I know I say that about like some of the older ones, but he really is, and he don't. They said like he don't sugarcoat nothing. He tells you exactly how it is and stuff, and people listens.
yeah,
Keeps people on track.
yeah.
So I think it'd be a good hire for AEW if he does.
Yep.
And who knows, maybe you get a little DX reunion in AEW.
Yeah.
There's Billy Gunn's over there.
Right. He was a super great agent at TNA when I got to work with him. I went in after my developmental release here in Florida. When I went in, he was an agent on one of my first matches. I think Dutch Mantell was still working there at the time. He was an agent on one, or Savio. It's either him or Savio. The first night I went in. Oh, it was Savio Vega was an agent on one of my matches. And my second match, which was AJ, I think it was AJ and Nash. And they had a couple spots to put me in, predicaments. And came to the back, very complimented of my work. Liked me from the get-go. I loved working with Brian. Went travel on the road with him. Good guy. Can't say nothing bad about Brian. And his whole family, dude. Like Scott Armstrong was a referee with us in the closing days of WCW. And I got to know Scott very well. I knew Brad working with him over the years. And then I got to meet Steve, his brother, as well. He started doing, like, after the Saturday night tapings ended, Steve started doing R&B security. Steve Armstrong did, but he was one of the Wild Out Southern boys with Tracy Smothers, years earlier. But the whole family, not to beat around the bush, the whole family is great people, very knowledgeable in the business. Their father was fantastic as well, wonderful human beings, and he would tell you, he'd be honest. If he didn't like something, he'd tell somebody, right? But if you like something, he'd also go out of his way to tell you how good it was. And that's the type of person you want. You don't want, in between, oh, yeah, that was great. That's lying. But if you sit there and go, oh, man, and point out the point to what was good about it, like he's very detailed, you did a good job. But if you, not that I got it from him, I didn't get critiqued in a bad way from him. But, you could sense the times that he had to do it. You could see it in the motions. But he didn't do anything. He wouldn't tell you anything even bad or good to anybody that he didn't think would not make you better at what you did. So can't say nothing bad about him. Yeah, he'd be a great addition to that company because I believe Billy Gunn's actually an agent there, right? Or am I wrong?
If he's not an agent, he's a coach, I think.
Okay.
He's something in the backstage role. But yeah, it'd be good. I mean, they both got good minds for the business.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd be excited for it.
Yeah. But I did hear about that. That is something I do know about WWE.
But Billy Gunn, man, he's in really good shape to be as old as he is.
Billy is. Do we know how old Billy Gunn is?
Is he? He's got to be close to 60 now, ain't he?
Let's do a little searching here.
Like 59.
Billy Gunn, age
59.
62.
Let's see. He looks in really good shape to be 62 out there doing it.
Yeah.
So, then he's still working in the ring.
Yeah.
I don't know about in AEW, but at Larry Otter Pro in Georgia, it's the Good Brothers, Carl Anderson and Luke Gallows, and Gallows' son, CJ Gallows, and Billy Gunn has been teaming up a lot, like a full-person team. Like, they've been doing pretty good, so he's still wrestling in the ring. So,
yeah.
They said he's still moving around good and everything. So.
Yeah, I remember, Gunn from the days of the Smoking Guns.
Yeah.
And they had the cowboy look, but that was good stuff. I liked the tag team, but that was the era that they needed that. So that was a great tag team. He actually got started here in Florida, because he's from around Orlando, I believe. And so he worked for a group, IWF, out of here. They taped at Universal years ago before WCW and all that got involved in there. And that's where he got seen, I guess. But that gimmick was good, man. I loved their gimmick. But, he went to become Rockabilly next with the Honky Tonk Man, which that's a good person to put that gimmick with. That was good. And I like that gimmick, but what really made him go over the top was when he and Road Dogg got together and they got to have matches with the Warriors in the late 90s and beat him for tag titles to WWF. I was there live the night they did that. I think that was in Fayetteville at a Raw taping, 97. But DX became larger in life. You know that. DX, my opinion, came about to counteract what the NWO was doing. They have a faction that was out there and new age, no pun intended to their name, New Age Outlaws, but new age to the era, right? I think they pulled it off very well, as we've seen over time. And the era was Stone Cold, bro. Not to jump off the head. Yeah. That was well needed. When he changed to be Stone Cold, they let him do that. That was awesome. Yeah. That whole era is an era that can't be relived. And we talked about it before, not to jump off Billy Gunn's subject, but the whole era at that point, right, was how am I say it? Even though the matches on a lot of the Raws and the Thunder, what was the other show? SmackDown. Raws and SmackDowns were a lot shorter, on the TV shows, but they built the product up.
Yeah.
See, what people don't understand, people go back and go, well, there are better matches on TV now. Yes, you may be able to say that because they're longer, and a lot of the guys nowadays are more athletic. But I'm guaranteeing you, if you go back and look at their pay-per-views and ask anybody that went to a house show during them years, I went to house shows during the Attitude Era. That was before I got picked up by WCW. The late 90s, 97 through 99, I would go to these shows. I'd go to WCW Nitros and Thunders. Now, WCW had a longer match product on their show, Nitro at times, and Thunder. They would do longer matches than WWE. But I'm going to tell you, WWE was doing still, with the way they did their TV, they marketed it, and so did WCW. They marketed it where you wanted to go to the house show. You saw a good show, you got the build up at the end, like you got like a beat down, the NWO coming in, and then Sting would come off the ceiling, and then you'd be like, and then you hear they're coming live to your town that weekend. If you ain't already got tickets for it, what are you going to go do? That made you excited to go buy the tickets for that live event. That's one thing people can talk junk about. Although during the Attitude Era, Steve Austin would have a match on Raw, it'd be 6 minutes. No crap. But the pay-per-view, he'd work 20, 25. At the house show, he'd work 20 minutes. They got their money's worth at these other events, right? Pay-per-view buys were out the roof at this point. I guarantee you they're not reaching that now. Viewership is down. We know this across the board. I don't care if there's more ways to watch it because you can stream everything nowadays. Overall, viewership is still down.
Yeah.
Even in WCW dying days, the viewership's less for NXT, less for AEW. You know what I'm saying? NWA is just a Roku channel show. Am I correct or wrong about that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I think you can watch it on YouTube.
Okay. Are they on CW anymore or no?
I don't think so. I think it's just on Roku and YouTube.
Yeah. But even before that, though, dude, the formula of giving people matches and angles, that's the main thing. Giving them great angles to make them buy tickets to your live events is what the formula was forever. And back in the syndication TV days, it was even more fun. With the territories, that's the era I grew up in. Man, that was phenomenal TV. You'd watch it, it'd be going off the air, the credits would come on, and they're still fighting behind the credits, and they're going off the air, and you're like, I got to see the ending of this. And it goes off, and you're like, oh, my God. It wasn't disappointment, right? Really, it was like, I can't wait to see what happens. And
it kind of was a disappointment. It was like, man, I want to see what's going on. But it gives you like something to look forward to also.
Yeah.
Like, I guess it was disappointing. Like, man, I really want to see what's going on.
Yes.
Like I was doing that when they had it on the Peacock channel. Right. I know I could watch the next episode right then and there, but it's like, man, what just happened? So, but like I said, it's also the excitement of knowing, like, you're gonna find out when that next episode hits and
Yes.
stuff.
Right. And there's no house shows no more, right, Mike?
Not
There's,
really.
they can't be. And that's one thing. It's an all television type product nowadays, just like a TV show. And they may be making caboodles of money off the TV deals and merchandise, and their ticket sales are higher. So I don't know if they're making less money. They're just selling less tickets. They're probably making a ton of money still. They're making money. But if you go back and look at how the business was for so long, and then all of a sudden it's TV, it's just TV. And because I'm looking at their schedule now, the only traveling show that is out there is the NXT product. Everything else is a Friday night or a Monday night taping of Raw and SmackDown, or a pay-per-view on a Saturday or Sunday, I guess. NXT is the only live brand that they will put out there. Can you believe that? I'm looking at their schedule right now through like May. I wonder why they feel the need to. Well, here we go. We got a Lucha Libre show. I forgot they owned them. But here's my question, Mike, and I don't know the answer to it myself. Why do you think that they went to an all TV formula and don't feel the need to give other towns that live event experience that was still going through 2024? I'm pretty sure that's when it stopped, around that time, right? Why do we get this now, right? Why do we stop giving it back to the audiences everywhere and have cheaper ticket prices to get them into the events? What's the deal here? That's all I want to know.
Money. Like, you can't just jack the prices up every show that you got, Like, you're going to lose money, like, keeping the tickets low, because how they're bumping up the cost of everything. If you go to these smaller places, just say you go to Vernon, you're not drawing, like, you're drawing good money, but you're not drawing probably what you need to make a good profit, like a profit that they want.
Yeah. Now,
They probably like, oh, we can probably make money, but not really spend it, and then jack the prices up at all these Raws and SmackDowns, and they'll cover whatever. We don't have to waste money on paying the wrestlers to go to these shows. We don't have to pay them to travel. We don't have to pay the people to put the set up, take it down. So, in a way, it's probably saving them money to do
yeah.
all this.
Right. Well, that was the whole theory back when, we're going to save money when WCW put their Thunder taping right after Nitro towards the last 6 months of the company. I was a part of that whole time. I think it started in late October of 2000, and it lasted through March of 2001. We do the tapings. Now, the house shows got reduced, but we still did house shows. We still had at least, I think we did 6 house shows a month, because it'd be 2 different loops of 3, and then one set of refs would go on one loop, the other of us would go on the other loop, right? And we'd all be at the TVs and pay-per-view. So it's still not as bad as what it's went to now. I mean, Raw or SmackDown brand is not traveling at all on house shows. And I honestly, when it comes to this, I'm an old school type person. When I talk about this, I think the business needs that connection with your fans on a level with no TV, with the big stars coming to their town with really good competitive matches without the ballyhoo and the hoo-ha and all the fireworks and flames. You don't need all that. Bring them a nice, good show from start to finish, just a pro wrestling show, right? Use the old school formula, but they're not doing that. And you're right, it's all about money. I get that. But that can't be the only reason they decided to get rid of all house shows. I mean, you cut off, look, Roanoke's not the only market that's smaller that they went through. They went to a lot of smaller markets, in different states everywhere. They cut out a big chunk of audience by doing that. Now, what you're going to do at the end of the day, regardless if they think this or not, at this point, back in the day, they used to come to Roanoke for a Raw or SmackDown occasionally. Occasionally. But mainly it was house shows. So my point being made here, let's say Roanoke's one of your house show towns that you take on the loop on a Saturday night going into a Monday Raw in Richmond. It's a bigger market. I get it. You're going to do Raw in Richmond or Norfolk, right? No big deal. But what about these other towns that you're missing in Virginia or North Carolina or West Virginia the same weekend that are smaller that still will pay your ticket prices to come see you? But I think not only it has to do with money, but here's another reason I've come to think maybe it's happening. It's because they're feeling like we can't charge these outrageous prices for a house show, but we can say that the Raw and the SmackDown are live and on television, the excitement of being on Netflix. You get what I'm saying? Or the PLEs on ESPN. It's a big deal. We can charge all these inflated prices. But when it comes to a house show, it doesn't sound as flashy, so we can't get the big inflated prices. So it is about money. So maybe that's why, who knows? But I think it's an injustice to the wrestling fan themselves that you're skipping these towns that used to get a wrestling product. I think it's a big injustice to them. And AEW, they started doing house shows. Guess what they're not doing again? House shows. It's a wrestling thing nowadays. Don't do house shows. I don't know what's up. So it's just, in my opinion, but maybe I'm outdated when it comes to that. But in my opinion, I think the smaller towns need the wrestling. They need you to bring their bigger stars there. They need to have it. They watch it at home on TV. Don't single them out. Don't make them just watch it on TV. Take it to their town. Have the tickets affordable. Let them come see your Roman Reigns, your CM Punks, your Seth Rollins, if you're a fan of Seth Rollins. You know how I feel about that. But you know what I'm getting at?
Punk.
Yeah, I do. But you see what I'm saying, right? They need to think more about the consumer, and they're not. They're thinking more about their pocketbook and how to pay their talent to do a lot of less work than they used to would have done. I mean, more shows you have, guys. Here's my theory. The more shows you have at prices that people can afford will bring you more revenue than having 4 big shows with less people at high inflated prices. You still will come out with more money in the end. You just don't want to put out the work. So, just my theory. Maybe I'm wrong, but that's my theory. So,
well,
enough of that.
I think I agree with you. Maybe. But one thing that we do agree on.
What's that?
Is it's always nice to save 15% off of anything in life. So why just stop at anything in life when you can support the veterans?
That's right.
And how can you do that? At cowboyrevolution.com. Use the promo code JVT123 and save 15% off. And you get to support the veterans. They got awesome hats. Jamie was wearing one last week.
Yes.
It's a cowboy hat, but it's a regular hat that says cowboy hat on it. Very nice, stylish hat. They got shirts, jackets, tumblers, stickers. It looks like they have like little posters, bags for the ladies. They got all different types of stuff up on there. Go check them out and tell them that y'all heard them from Jamie and Mike's Wrestling Adventures.
Please do. Please do.
We support the veterans. It's like I said, it's good for them. It's a veteran-owned company, and we just love how we are honored to be a part of them, and they're a part of this podcast with us.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Um, so let's see. The event that was in question last night, once again, guys, I found the name of it because I was trying to find more news out about this kid that got hurt, was OVW Rise. Uh, it's called the Hot Point Davis Arena. I don't know why they changed it to Hot Point. There must be a sponsor involved now. Used to be just the Davis Arena because Danny Davis, who started in OVW, and Jim Cornette, of course. I wonder what Jim Cornette thinks. That's a bigger topic. My gracious, I'm sure he's going off somewhere today 10 times worse than you could ever imagine me going off about it. I'd like to see it. I'm scrolling through social media accounts trying to find information about this kid. Cannot do it. So, but the dude in question that the kid I said looks like a 12-year-old working, his name is Brendan Baldwin. And he's actually got an interview posted online talking about him keeping his title or something. Yeah. Still don't like you.
Well, I guess he did keep the title. It wasn't a rush to stop the match.
That's horrible.
I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like doctor stopped it for whatever, so it wasn't really a rub. So he had to keep the title, you know.
Yeah.
Like I wasn't saying nothing bad about the rub. I'm just saying, like it kind of just it just ended. So I guess it was like a no contest with the ref being out. So of course he had to keep the title.
Right. Yeah, I'm not finding any other new news about it. I was hoping we'd find something out before we concluded our podcast here shortly. But nothing news out about it. Maybe that's something we'll touch on next week once we find out more stories. I think you brought it up earlier. Did you bring up the Tyra May still on here earlier? Or we talked about it off? Huh?
We talked about it off the
Okay.
podcast right before.
She claims this, and you talked about it. She claims WWE released her after winning amateur wrestling gold. I've also been told by others that this was a work. I don't know what to believe. But from all indications, she was fired apparently, and she's an Olympic.
I saw a report that she was still. It was like a misunderstanding, and she was still hired. So.
Okay, so she did get some heat, but not fireable heat.
I think so.
Okay.
Because she was just on. She's on Evolve.
Yes.
And everything. She was just on Evolve this week on Tubi. That's where Evolve. You can watch Evolve every, I think, Tuesday or Wednesday. I watch it on Thursdays for my day off and everything.
Yeah.
But she was just up on there challenging for the women's title because the women's champion, she was going to NXT. So she was just on there this week. So I don't think, they could have recorded before and just put it out and stuff. I doubt that they do it live every week because it's like NXT before you get to NXT, pretty much.
Yeah.
So I doubt that they do it like every week live and stuff. But I just don't know, like you, I just don't know where to go with this because I heard a couple different reports, but then she won like a gold medal at the amateur wrestling thing that she did, and it was a purse of like $350,000. I mean, if I'm getting that kind of a paycheck doing that, and that's what you're known for, and that's what you like to do, man, I'll give up Evolve only because I know you ain't making $350,000 in Evolve.
No.
The whole entire time you're there.
Yeah.
You know, so.
Yeah.
I mean, that's something that she likes to do. I mean, $350,000. You do a match once every year, and you're set. You know.
Yeah, I don't know what they're paying their developmental talent nowadays, I'm sure with inflation, as we call it, it's went up. But I know
Well, I
it
don't
used.
think well, I don't think NXT is getting that much, and this is before you get to NXT.
Yeah, I'm not
Like
sure
I
what
heard that they're
he's making.
struggling.
Who is struggling?
Like NXT, like they're getting paid, but they're not getting paid like anywhere close to like
Okay.
what they need to like survive. Like they're still taking like that's why NXT is kind of they kind of okayed them to doing like little promotions here and there and stuff. Like of course the top stars like say Ricky Saints and Ethan Page,
Yeah.
they're probably making better amount there and stuff. But like if you're lower on the card and stuff, I don't think they're getting paid that good.
Right. Well, with that said, since we're talking about wrestling shows, we've been on that topic for a while. Tomorrow night, Florida Pro Wrestling will be at the Circle S Barbecue off of Highway 19 in Hudson, Florida. I'll be a part of this crew. They got some great wrestling on this card. I'm telling you, the Tokyo Monster Kahagas will be there. Let's see. Brian Brock, the Florida heavyweight champion. I love Brian. He's an old school worker from back in the day. Used to book him when I used to help book shows down here for Florida Underground. He was one of my tag team champions by my bookings because the partner he had at the time, we call him the Dirty Blondes, and I always thought highly of Brian. Them two will be there. You're going to have, and this is a great topic, you're going to have two former WCW referees. Not only myself will be officiating, but the great Billy Silverman will be there. So you got a lineup, guys. Devin Diaz is going to be there. Jackson Slade, John Strange, many others. Do not miss it. They're also going to be at Tanner's Lakeside tonight, just shortly here. It starts at 8 o'clock. I'm not going to be in Winter Haven tonight, but this may not be broadcasted out there for you to even hear it. But they're March the 13th. They're in Winter Haven tonight. So two great shows by that company this weekend. I'll be appearing on the Saturday one. With that being said, do we know when the next Pure Pro Wrestling show in your area is, Mike?
There's one up in Montville on March 28th.
Okay.
It's still $15 at the door. Children, what was it? I'm looking at the children 6 and under free and everything. I know I'm not going to be at this one. I already got plans and everything with my hot American wife, so I'm not going to be able to make it to this one.
Right.
But I mean, the Pure Pro Wrestling is always good. You can see up in their Facebook page, like they got sellouts everywhere that they go, like North Carolina, Rocky Mount, Virginia, Montville, Virginia, you name them, they're selling out. They're doing really good. So if you want to see good wrestling, cheap, you don't have to go to Pure Pro Wrestling, but go to independent wrestling.
Yep.
Like
very affordable. Yep.
that is very affordable. I mean, that is like the future of WWE. And when they get up to that next level, you're not going to really be able to see them no more because you're not going to be able to afford them. But you know where you can afford them at?
That's right.
At your local independents.
Because they're going to, like Cornette went on a rave the other day about $700 SmackDown tickets in Louisville.
Yeah, like 3 times as much as normal.
Yeah. I can't remember how he put it, but it's like a criminal offense, basically, that they're doing this highway robbery. But he's right. It really is.
Yeah, I could see him going into TKO headquarters with that tennis racket.
Me too. Yeah. So I'd like to touch base on the email address again, Mike, before we jump off this wonderful podcast of ours. Remember, guys, send your questions, comments to WrestleRef123@gmail.com. Me and Mike both would be more than happy to answer your questions answer your comments, answer to whatever you want to send us, suggestions. Send that in as well. Other than that, we got the Cowboy Revolution, right? Go to cowboyrevolution.com at checkout. Use code JamieT123 for that 15% off at your checkout. It's a great deal, man. Support them veterans, everyone. Let's pop that up there one more time so you can see it. With that being said, I will say that I look forward to looking into the story that we first talked about this week from OVW to see where it goes, to see how this kid's doing. Also to see how they respond to it, if they even do. That's going to be interesting to see in the next week, Mike, when we bring back another podcast. If they respond over the weekend or something, dude, we may have to do an early podcast next week just to touch on it.
Who knows? We might do two next week.
Who knows? You never know with us. Stay tuned for more guests, guys. I am in the works of that. Send your questions in, though, so we can have them questions for our guest even. If they're generic questions, anybody can answer them. But with that being said, I do appreciate each and one of our listeners or watchers out there, whether it's YouTube, Spotify, Amazon, iHeartRadio, Podbean, or Pandora. We appreciate each and every one of you. Yep. And Mike, you got anything to leave out on today?
Go check out our Facebook page, Jamie and Mike's Wrestling Adventures on Facebook. We're trying to grow that just like we are with the podcast.
Yep.
Like some of the people don't really have emails and stuff anymore. Y'all can leave comments and questions at the Facebook page too.
Yep.
We can answer it there. We can answer it on the podcast. It doesn't really matter. But the one thing that we do care about is Cowboy Revolution.
That's right.
Chris Benoit needs to go into the WWE Hall of Fame.
Correct.
And Vince Russo is the greatest WCW World Heavyweight Champion of all times.
Okay. There you go, everyone. You heard it from Mike.
And he also needs to go into the Hall of Fame, too.
Okay. You heard it from Mike himself. Speaking of another WCW World Champion, I will be going to Stream 7 tomorrow before I go to my show here locally. So I'm looking forward to that. David Arquette is in it. So another WCW World Champion. There you go, Mike. So with that being said, our peeps out there, we appreciate each and every one of you. We look forward to seeing you next time, or you listening to us next time, whichever one it is. Thank you very, very much from the bottom of my heart. We'll be seeing you. Peace out.
Bye, everybody.
Wrestling talk. Wrestling adventure storytelling. No fake news here.